Here we are again. I'm looking at the clock and thinking, oh man, this is just flying. I kind of suspected that would happen. We're supposed to be finishing up at 9, but that was when we were outdoors and there's neighbours that apparently can complain about the sound. So I think we could possibly go over a bit if we need to here, as long as I'm not going to get stung too much by the staff and the potato shed for being here too long. But I think we'll be right to keep going. But we might try and get through some songs a bit quicker this time. I think we've laid a really nice foundation about what this is all about. We're going to still do some chatting, but we'll jump into some songs. And Sarah, are you back? Woohoo! Still smiling always. We thought we were chatting in the green room. We didn't have you on a virtual screen out there, but we were thinking we might throw it over to you first and see if there's anything especially you'd like to talk about or ask any of us, I guess, and followed by a song. Would you be happy to kickstart us this second little set off?
Well, I was having a look through the extensive list of talking points, Andrea, which you put together with the help of everybody. And one of the things I found interesting to think about was how we approach songwriting and get inspiration.
Yep.
So I'd really like to ask everybody about that, and then maybe come back to me and I'll talk about how I do it and then do a song.
Sure thing. Is there anyone you'd like to start?
Oh, let's just begin stage right, I guess, and we'll have, well, if it's the way I can see it from here, that means Annie.
All right. You're being put on the spot.
So how do I write my songs? Is that the question? I tend to write about one song every 5 months. And that's probably quick, I reckon. I'm very slow at getting a song written. I'll have hundreds and hundreds of voice memos of ideas and like little memos, and I think that I hear melodies in my head all the time and will document them using my phone. And same with lyrics, we'll document them in my phone, so not a notebook, but something like that. But although I'll be thinking about the sound of things all the time and getting ideas, and I might hear someone say something that hits me here, or something happens and it'll hit me here, then I'll put that down somewhere, and then most of the time the song will come out quite quickly. So it's sort of like months of brewing stuff, and then the song will just come out in like one go. So sometimes, yeah, I think that Gladys song that I was saying just before, I think I wrote it as quickly as I played it almost. It sort of came out in a flow of 10 minutes probably. In that time, but I'd had a lot of things building up for that. So that's how I've gone about those. And I'm trying to look at the songs that I have on my list, and most of them are very similar. They just come out quickly after a long time, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, it's probably, I tend to get music more than lyrics first. I have lots of progressions and melodies and ideas around songs, but more often than not, I think the feel of the song kind of sounds a bit corny, but starts to speak to me, and it's like it's almost telling me what it's about based on what I'm playing and perhaps the melody I've got in my mind. Sometimes I've intentionally sat down and thought, I'm just going to try and write a song now. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But more often than not, I have the music first. And even though I play piano, I tend to just pick up the guitar and play a lot. And the song I did at the end of the first little set there, that actually happened very quickly after a big writing block. But David bought me an old, I think it's a 1978 12-string guitar for my birthday last year, I think, or I might have been the year before, I can't remember. Anyway, it was a lovely present to get, and I just started playing it. I think it was just like having a new instrument in my hands and a slightly different sound being a 12-string. That song just flowed really quickly at that point in time, but like all of us, I think we use our phones to record memos and ideas or hum melodies into, and like you just said, Annie, you have conversations with people, and you read a book, a sentence might jump out at you, and I kind of keep track of those. I do like writing things down. I use my phone, but I have lots of books with notes and songs. Like I've got all my books that I've written songs in over the years still sitting around and stored away. I love writing it out. It sort of helps it really connect with the song that way, and then I tend to type it up and make sure I register it with APA, and I go a bit of a process that I do there. But firstly I write it out into a book, and there's sort of multiple pages sometimes for different songs. So yeah.
Well, because I've been writing songs for quite a long time, it's kind of, I actually, when I started music, I started songwriting, so it kind of almost came naturally for me. But I think one of my fondest memories of songwriting was when I had my old FC Holden. I had an FC Holden Ute, and it had a beautiful, I don't know if you know that the cabin sort of has those rounded windows in the back, and it didn't have a radio. It just had that beautiful grill where the radio should sit, but I didn't want to spoil that little grill, so I didn't have a radio. And I had an old tape deck, and you'd push buttons and stuff and put your cassette in and you'd record on that. And I recorded a lot of stuff in that car because I loved the sound of it, and I loved the sound of those windows behind me that it sort of reflected and had this natural ambience. You'll know what I'm talking about, Sarah. And, and so I think for me, I write to the environment that I'm in and the instrument that I'm playing, but mostly about life stories and situations that happen. But especially, I like to say that when I write a song, and if it's a really heavy subject like domestic violence, which I've written a bit about, I will make it into a happier tune rather than making it morose and heavy and kind of stomping through it. I kind of put a nice rhythmic sort of happier beat to it, and I turn it around, so tell about the situation first and then turn the situation on its head, so you just go on at the end, you're going, yeah, right, got you sussed. And so that's how I like to write. Next.
Well, songwriting for me is kind of like journaling, which is scary because I show it to everyone. But I don't know. I do different types of. But I don't have a system. I normally write on the guitar, and I not actually write physically on the guitar. I write using the guitar, and I normally get lyrics and melody and chords all at the same time. And I record it on my phone, and I don't have a journal to write in. I just get sheets of paper and then stick it in. I've tried writing poems and then changing it into songs, and I've tried just writing music and then adding lyrics or using old lyrics that I hated the song, like the melody and stuff to, and using it again. But yeah, that's kind of my system.
I tend to do the same as Carly, like it's all at once, and it's quite fast as well, like just sitting down and melody, lyrics, and usually on the guitar, chords. I like to type on the computer because I just find it needs to pour out, and it's just good to type, and I have lots of versions until I finally have my final lyrics. But I feel like these days I'm really enjoying more collaborative songwriting, which always scared the shit out of me to be kind of in that vulnerable space in front of somebody. But ever since I started teaching songwriting to young people, and I just seeing their confidence really inspired me, and I write a lot of songs with teenagers these days, kind of help them with their songwriting, and that's really inspired me to kind of be okay, I've got to reach out to some musos and collaborate with them, and some of the best songs I think have come out of that. So I think giving up that kind of I always wanted to be no, I just wrote this song, I wanted to have this ownership over it, just where it made me feel it needed to be really precise. I didn't want to say something in my song that was off this, that wasn't part of my story or something. I wanted to be really honest and stuff, but now I'm kind of just honouring the song and just like going wherever that needs to go. And that needs people to come in and help that process. And I think like that's like you honour the song, and that's what's important to me now.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Sarah.
Well, I do all of those things that you've all just mentioned, and interesting that you should bring up the collaborative aspect, Rach, at the end there, because that's something that I haven't really done either, but I had my first experience of it a few years ago, and I had sort of 2/3 of the song, and I took it to a guy and said, you know, what do you make of this, and have you got any ideas? And we sat together for a few days in little sort of lumps of time over that period, and I really loved what came out of that. I find songs always change a lot when you go to record them. So that's also a collaborative process, because whoever you're working with as an engineer, if you trust that person and you have a good relationship with that person, then they will make suggestions to you that you can either take or leave, you know. But a lot of the time it's really it's always worth listening to other people's ideas, I think. In the environment that I'm in at home and have been for many years, where everybody writes and is interested in songwriting and songs, I've found it tremendously helpful to, you know, run tunes past the various members of the household and get feedback and suggestions, and you know, sometimes you'll play something to one of them or the other, and they'll say, that's just fantastic, I love it just the way it is. But then other times, and I've offered this as well in return, I had a thought for the bridge that might work if you were interested in trying it out, or here's a different way of putting that rhyme maybe, or have you thought of flipping this word and this word around, you know, just little tweaks like that sometimes can be really helpful. So it's good to be, while you want to be honest and communicate yourself truly, it's also really great to take on board what others may have to say about what you're doing. And so, yes, the process of sharing and getting feedback from others is really, really, really great. And teaching is a fantastic way to do that. So with that in mind, I'm going to sing a song about teaching. Which I haven't done for a while, so wish me luck, folks.
Good luck, we're all saying it.
Thank you. And I know that all of us have done this, have all taught others and helped others, even you, Carly. I know you're a real leader in the field with the other young people that you work with, and Andrea and Felicia and Rach and Annie, I know that you all teach and pass knowledge on. So this song came from a situation where I was working with a young person who was half my age exactly, and was such a fresh young person and really wanted big things for himself, but, you know, was kind of at the same time really uncertain about himself. And so I thought I would just try and share some of the things that I knew, not just about music, but just life in general with him, which is kind of how I roll, isn't it, Carly?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Never waste a word when a glance will do. Never shoot a bird when it didn't harm you. Never tell a lie when the truth is hard. And never give offense in your neighbor's yard. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Never say no when you're up on stage. Never let your hands express your rage. Never be unkind to a dog or a child. And never try to own what was free and wild. Oh no. Oh no. a drop of cash. Never take a ride in a drunkard's car, and never hitch a wagon to the dying star. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. You may wonder why I say this to you. You'd be right to tell me just what I could do with my platitudes and my say goodbyes. Just remember, babe, I've lived your life twice. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That was beautiful. Fantastic. I love phasey guitar.
Yeah.
Am I going to do
You're
one?
going to do it.
I'm going to do one. All right. Here's a bloody story for you. True life, Ridgy Didge. You know, we talked about people who inspire us and all of that sort of thing, and we also talked about people who upset us as well. And one of my inspirations actually upset me and embarrassed me greatly in front of a rather large audience at when I was living in Brisbane up at Twin Towns. And I went to see Susie Quattro, and I went up to she had a bit of a question and answer time with the audience, and anyone want to come up and ask a question, you know, and so I thought, oh, well, rather than try and get backstage to see her, I'll take my CD and tell her that she's one of my inspirations and she has inspired me over the years. And I got up to the front of the stage and she said, oh my God, can you shine the spotlight on this chick's tits? They're huge. I kid you not. Her exact words. So you can imagine how I felt in front of about 1,500 people. I just saw red. In fact, I wanted to grab her by the throat, pull her down off that stage. However, we had a microphone tussle instead. She kept pulling the microphone away from me when I said, you used to inspire me, Susie, you used to, like this. And I'm saying, please don't do the tit jokes. The band was getting really embarrassed, right? And she said, so what did you want to say to me? What did you want to say? And anyway, I said, look, you know, you inspire, here's my CD. Well, what's that? Your CD? She frisbeed it to the back of the stage. So I went, I did the walk of shame back to my seat. Had these, you know, 6 foot, 7 foot bikies patting me on the back going, oh, never mind, love, never mind, you'll be right. Get back to my seat. And a couple of years later, I met Carol Lloyd and we had a bit of a discussion about what had happened. She said, oh, I heard you had a bit of a run-in with Susie Quattro. And I said, yeah. And she goes, yeah, me too. Me too. And I said, you're kidding. And she goes, no. We were playing at Festival Hall in the Railroad Gin days. And I went, oh, really? She told me the story. So, of course, I had to write a song about it. I ran up by Chris while we were on tour once in the van, and he came up, biggest wry grin came on his face. And I must say he added a line or two to this one about the body paint. So this is what it's about. And before Carol died, she passed on a few years ago. I just briefly recorded the song with my guitarist at the time, Troy Love, who's a wonderful guitarist, you probably know. And he played slide on it. Annie's going to join me on harmonica in this one. I managed to record it for Carol, and and I sent it to her and I said, look, this is the story as I know it, as you told me, is this correct? And she said, yep, that's it. So I sent it to her and she was absolutely rapt. So she got to hear it before she passed away. Hold on, hang on a second. Thanks. Oh, where's the bloody thing gone? I'll probably put it in the other pocket. It's unnatural territory for me, this sitting down and talking. Anyone believe that about me? Yeah, right. Well, they were setting up that year at Brisbane Festival Hall. Susie threw the drummer sticks against the back wall. She said, go fetch boy, a smart ass look on her face. That sent Lottie fell into a rage. She said, I don't care if you say them will get it dry. You be lucky, little Susie, you get out of here alive. Lottie won, Susie none. Lottie won, Susie none. Lottie in the dressing room was hatching out a plan. She said, paint me up, boys, I'm gonna sport my tan. Her halter top fell to the dressing room floor. An empty body paint box behind the door. With flowers and glitter all over her breasts, Lottie went on the stage and did her very best. Lottie won, Susie none. Lottie won, Susie none. Well, the cops could not believe it. It was Jobiaki rule. They wanted to arrest her, but all they could do was drool. The crowd was really loving it. The cops were in despair. Lottie danced and sang, her hands up in the air. Well, there was nothing they could do but let the show go on. Susie looked on from the wings and knew that Lottie won. Lottie won, Susie none. Lottie won, Susie none. That's Carroll, Railroad Jim, Brisbane Festival Hall, 1972, I believe. Lottie won, Susie none. Lottie won, Susie none. Thank you. At this point, I really want to thank Annie on the harmonica. What a beautiful musician Annie is. And I'd also like to thank Carly for lending me that beautiful 1972 something bass. And it's been a pleasure to actually play that. So thank you so much. And so from going to a bit of a rock sounding song, we thought we'd drop it right back to a beautiful a cappella number that Carly is going to sing for you now. So please put your hands together for Carly Robertson, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, this song I wrote, can't remember when, but I think it was last year, and I wrote it as a poem, And then I thought, I like that. I'm going to change it into a song. And it's about opening up to people and trusting them that they're going to do right by you. Yeah, scary stuff. Fold your fingers through mine as they intertwine. Do they tell our story or a tale of many? Grasp my hand in yours, treat it with kindness. It is as fragile as a child's innocence. Keep it safe for me. Don't let it come to harm. Don't let night take away its sun. Please hold it when it hurts and soothe it when it cries, and never let anyone snuff out its light. Keep it safe for me. Don't let it come to harm. Don't let night take away its sun. Keep it safe for me. Don't let it come to harm. Don't let night take away its sun. Take my hand in yours and don't be afraid. For I will never lead you astray.
Wow, it was a lovely song.
I'm not lost for words very often. I haven't heard you do that a cappella. I've heard you do it once with a guitar. How are you going, Mum? You crying out there?
I think I've known Carly since she was very little. I don't know how old you would be, maybe 7.
Probably.
And I think you are a beautiful example of someone who's vulnerable and has been like allowed to be in the sun and not being, put into the darkness. And you just this is how we should treat our young women and our young people, to really inspire them and give them confidence to be themselves. And it's just so amazing to see how bright you shine, and you have always, and you have never kind of, that I've seen, kind of been put into a corner, and it's just like that is the product of doing that to our young people.
Yeah,
So, congratulations.
Rach, is there something you'd like to talk about and maybe do a song?
I don't know, I'm all shaky, so I'm just like, oh, that was so beautiful. I could do a song. Yeah, I can do a song. I might do kind of a more upbeat one, I reckon. This is a song that I wrote a long time ago. So when I was just starting out with my band, Rach Brennan and the Pines, who are no longer anymore. But this was a song that I wrote very, very quickly in the car. I write a lot of songs in my car as well. And it kind of just all came out, and I kind of hit record on my phone and drove home and was singing it, and then just picked up my guitar and played it, and it was like, that's done, but it's kind of, I didn't feel like I had a chorus, but I was like, I'll come back to it, I'll write a chorus for it one time. And then a couple of years later, I showed the guys in my band, I was like, I've got this idea, but it's not done. And I played it for them, and they were like, that's done. They're like, that's like the whole song. And I was like, it doesn't have like a chorus, it just has like 2 sections. And they're like, no, the whole thing is a chorus. And it became one of like our favourite songs to play. It's called Hindsight.
One of your favourites?
Thinking in hindsight, help me sleep at night. Help me to sleep, it won't help me sleep. Thinking of my life and all the things that I've done wrong won't help me to sleep, it won't help me sleep. Thinking in hindsight, help me sleep at night. Help me to sleep, it won't help me sleep. In a place where you and I should live. You're a sinking ship with your anchor deep, that you and I should see. Oh, that in hindsight we were meant to be. Da, 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 da.
That's what we just needed. Thanks, Rach. Really sweet.
Beautiful.
How about you? You got another tune for us?
Yeah, I was just trying to think of what to do.
Would you like me to throw you a topic and then they might come up with something?
I was just thinking, songwriting styles, and I think I just talk about how I do it, but not why or what I do it for and when it happens. And I think I'll just play a song that I wrote probably 10 or more years ago. And it culminates a lot of issues around which is why what you said, Rach, was so beautiful about Carly, that confidence in letting your music out when you're young and being the full expression of who you are. And I think I felt very pained as a young person. And so songwriting came from deep pain, which is a common thing, but to this day I haven't recorded this song properly. And it's a song that I just remember bawling. And most of the songs I write now that I remember, I'm bawling so much that I can't sing them when I'm writing them. So that Gladys song, I just remember just crying the whole time. And this song that I'll play is a similar thing. But yet again, I haven't quite captured the way to record it that does it justice. So that's something that I hope that now that I've quit my job, I can work that out. But doesn't even have a name, actually. Not coming through. Can I just have a bit more on this, Rach? What's that? time to think and make it worse. I'm always numb. Is that okay? Or am I losing out from not learning how to stay? We're dying off. We're getting cold. I'll stand alone when I am old. And where will I run? What will I do? What's the point of living without you? Are you the same? Or do you hurt? And have you loved and lost and got what you deserve? Is there regret? Or is there none? And do your eyes say you have peace with all you've done? 'Cause we're dying off. We're getting cold. I'll stand alone when I am old. Where will I run? What will I do? What's the point of living without you? Never have I ever wanted it more. You see in my face, I'm all out of place, my love. And the life I love to talk about is falling through my hands. Who's gonna be there when we turn it all around? I run from pain before it hurts, before I get the time to think and make it worse. We're dying off. We're getting cold. I'll stand alone when I am old. Where will I run? What will I do? What's the point of living without you?
Is it hard to sing that?
No, not
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to listen to it, eh? Seriously, I was crying. That I just really related to that. It's like, wow, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. As you were talking, I remember there was one point that I added here of yours. The importance of taking time or pondering songs before releasing versus creating music quickly. That was one of the things that you put in an email of just a possible topic, and you kind of covered it with what you just said. But yeah, like there probably is a tendency, you write a song, you want to get it out there and all that sort of stuff, but it's sometimes good to sit back and just
Yeah,
let the songs develop a little bit. Sometimes showing it to somebody else or playing it with somebody else and getting their input and not rushing out to release it. And even like that's a long time ago that you wrote that song, but I hope you do record it one day.
Yeah, we've done a demo and things like that, but I think it's that feeling that I haven't ever done music to I don't know, I always do music for the feeling and the connection and things like that, and if I'm not producing something that feels very in line with that, whether it's I struggle to be engaged with it, so I'm a bit slow. I hope to speed it up a little bit, but I think it's important to honour the feeling that you have when you've written it and try and sort of find that production that sort of matches that sound and not settle for anything less.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially with songs like that, you know, that have that you present so much feeling, like when you sing and when you play, like just that quiet guitar and that quiet vocal, and it's not morose, it's just extraordinarily feeling, like real. You know, you really just putting your feelings out there, and that's a really courageous thing to do. Absolutely, like when you said you're writing it, that you're crying all the time. You can totally understand it, and you feel that in that song, and you can still feel it. You know, even though you can sing it now without crying, you're able to do it and share that, which is just absolutely extraordinary, I think.
I guess I can say the same there, that the songs that I've recorded, and I'll probably cover a couple of topics just with this before I do this song, but I might talk about something about being a woman in their 40s for a bit longer. Later this year I tip over into the 50s. So I just scraped in time to fit that category, didn't I? But I had so many songs. I had released 2 studio albums, and then I decided to step out of my comfort zone again, and I applied for the Queenscliff Music Festival Emerging Artist Grant, really thinking I just wouldn't have a hope in hell, because I was already in my 40s. I felt silly doing the application, but I really thought I had a great idea, which was to record a live album with all this material that I had, songs that I'd been gigging. They were really complete and ready for recording, but I was fortunate to win that application and get some grant monies, and I did a crowdfund to make up the rest of it, and that became the Live at Newhall album. We ended up with a double CD out of that. I was planning on culling a whole lot, just going through, picking out the best and making a single CD, and but the recording was just captured so well that it was too hard to choose. I think that we actually left one song off out of 19 songs, so we ended up with 18 and a double CD. But those songs they were well and truly cooked and ready for it, and capturing them in that live setting was very special. And I really poured my heart and soul out into that project, but I loved the end result, and I still do, and the family were very involved in that, which was fortunate, and a real blessing.
And they're available in the foyer.
I was just going to say that, ladies and gentlemen, they're great. They're a great album, and if you haven't got one,
it's on vinyl too. And actually, not just my stuff's out there.
Around the corner.
Yeah, we were going to actually try and come past your place and pick up some merch there, because we've got a little desk out there. Annie's the Medina EPs out there, aren't they? There are three, yeah. And they're awesome. We've got them, but Carly's pinched them, so I might need to buy another copy for me. Carly hasn't got a recording yet, but it's coming. But Felicia's got some CDs out there, and Rach has too, and vinyl as well. So we might need to do a vinyl swap later. Yeah. But I'm going to do a song off that album, seeing that I've talked about it. And I'm just going to tie that topic in with just one other little thing. Because one of my sisters who's here tonight, she played keys on the night, because I couldn't do keys and guitar and sing at the same time, so that was very special. But she's a visual artist too, and she did the artwork for that particular album that you see on that cover. and that was very special to have her involvement in that way as well. But I think I saw a different artist here tonight. Are you here, Sonia Jean? Yeah, she's up. I think I just spotted her before. Yeah, that hand waving. So you'll have been seeing this artwork pop up on social media and on posters and everything. And that came about after Sonia just came to visit one day, and I told her that I'd been successful in the pitch to run this idea, and she showed me some of the artwork she'd been doing, which were all women with beautiful, flowers and birds and stuff in their hair. And she did one for her daughter, and I just looked at it and I sort of thought, oh gee, that'd be nice to get some original artwork for this little project or event. And so I messaged her and said, do you reckon you could come up with something for this, her story through her song? And she said, I'll leave it with me. And then, a few days later she sent me a photo of something she'd seen, which was a photograph of a woman, I think, sort of in this pose. But she said, I'm thinking these sort of colours, and I was like, yeah, just do it. So, and this is what she came up with. It was only like a week later, I get this message from her saying it's done. And she sent me a photo. So it's just been so special having your involvement in that way, Sonia. And thank you for this beautiful artwork you've created for our event, and which I get to now proudly hang in my home. So it's been very special. Sonia's a really creative person and a beautiful soul, and she's like another sister to me. We've got a lot of history, and we've done a lot of singing together. She's also a really beautiful singer, and she's written some terrific songs too. So thanks again, beautiful Mrs. I'm going to do a song called I'd Like to Think, which is off the Live at New Hall album, and this was one of those songs that sort of stemmed from conversations I'd had with a few different people. You'll hear what it's about.
That in 10 years' time, if I look back over what I've done with my life, I may see that I've made a change. Because I truly believe that we're not put on this earth just to serve ourselves or build up our own worth. Oh, may I see that I've made a change, made a difference by the way I've lived. I get so tired of what I see on the TV screens. Why is it so hard for us to choose to act kindly? I know that I can't change all the problems of the world, but if I go about my day treating others the way I want to be treated,
Who wants to say something now? Sarah, do you have anything you'd like to say at this point in time?
Yeah, I want to say what a beautiful song that is.
Thank you, Dan.
It's so simple in its message, and it just sums up your whole, the whole way of life of yours. I think, Andrea, and your beautiful family. You just do the right thing by everybody and expect so little in return, just some decency and kindness. It's a really great message and beautifully expressed, sweetheart.
Yeah,
thank you.
Well, it is 9:15. Are there any other topics you'd like to address before we do an all-in? Sarah, we're going with the song that you suggested that we all thought you'd be leading. So we're doing it tonight.
Great.
In our little Zoom chat when we were preparing for this, we talked about doing an all-in song at the end of the evening. And Sarah came up with this suggestion, Keep on the Sunny Side of Life, which really sums you up. With your beautiful sunny disposition and beaming smile. And but yeah, in the back of our minds, we're all thinking, oh yeah, Sarah knows this song really well. We'll just accompany her and she'll roll with it. And then of course it's just went flipped on its head, and I said to Felicia 2 days ago, so how did you go with the song? Oh damn it, I forgot to learn the song. So she's been cramming trying to learn. We had a bit of a practice today, Carly and Felicia.
I'm sure it will be. No, it's going to be fantastic. It's such a nice song, and I'm sure lots of you in the audience there know it as well.
Yeah, so they might even be able to sing along.
Joining on the choruses at least.
Felicia wasn't the only one who forgot to learn the song.
Yeah. Even though you live in the same house, and I've reminded her, Carly, have you listened
I
to the song?
I listened to it, I just didn't learn it.
And I'd just
half the battle.
I'd just like to say that with this sort of environment that we are here with on stage, or that we're a part of on stage, it's very it can be a bit risky for performers to come and do something that's a little bit different like this and very intimate, and we've kind of spoken a lot about, well, not a lot, but there's a lot of stuff that we could even talk about. So I think we should do number 2, and or not number 2, but but what I'm trying to say. What's that there?
I think Queenslanders, You
But I just wanted to thank the audience, because we couldn't do this sort of thing without, your being here, because we'd be sitting around going, oh well, how you going, talking to ourselves. But it's absolutely beautiful that you're here, and you've been such a beautiful, wonderful audience, and I just want to thank you all so much and for being here. And I know a lot of you are musical friends and patrons of the arts, and we really can't do this without you, and I know you probably hear that all the time, but it's absolutely true, and I just wanted to let you know again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you to Mum, because you really got it done. Like we made it. Yeah, we did. We're over Zoom as well. It's just great that we actually got to do it, and that all of you came, which is nice, because then it'd just be a bit awkward if there was only 3 people. But yeah, it's just really great. Yeah,
And just such a fantastic idea too, having all the different kind of decades of women, and I think I was just so excited to be part of it ever since you mentioned to me years ago, and checking in, how's your idea going, and thank you so much for asking. I'll talk on behalf of all of us to be part of it.
Very welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of it, Sarah. For you even being sick, able to join us virtually and still sing and smile and all the things that we love you for. It's been so good having you a part of it in this way. So thank you for setting your time aside for this. Thanks again to all the audience, people for buying tickets and supporting the event. Felicia's absolutely right. We say it all the time, but we couldn't do it without you, and we thank you for your support and encouragement, and it really means a lot to us to have you all here. Thanks again to Trent and Heath for doing the sound, managing it all so beautifully for us. And to the Potato Shed crew in general, they've just been terrific to work with, and we're so fortunate to have this space. So can you just give them a bit of a round of applause too, please? Yeah. And lastly, again to the City of Greater Geelong, I'm not sure if there are any representatives here this evening, but if you are here, thank you for coming, and thanks again for believing in the idea and backing it. Yeah. And hopefully it's just the start of many more great ideas to come.
Have you had a good time? Have you really had a good time? Well, look, I know you're sitting there and you're here, but have you had a good time, ladies and gentlemen? They talking.
Alright, thanks again for coming. This is Keep on the Sunny Side of Life.
And please sing along, huh? If you know the words.
Yeah, don't sing if you don't know the words, then.
Don't sing my words because I don't know what they are.
Alright, so we remember the intro?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and a sunny side too. But if you meet with the darkness and strife, the sunny side will know, so will you. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day, it will brighten all the way. If you keep on the sunny side of life. Oh, the storm and its fury rage today, crushing hopes we cherish so dear. And the clouds and storm will pass away, and the sun will shine bright and clear again. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day, it will brighten all our way. If we keep on the sunny side of life.
No, look, I think as much as I would love to keep going, it is nearly 9:25, so we better get home to bed, but we better let you go too and let the Potato Shed crew do their packing up. Thank you so much again for coming, ladies and gents. It's just been beautiful to share this evening with you. And there's some merch out there if anyone wants to grab a copy of something, or one of us will head out there to man that, and we'll see you again sometime at another gig. And Sarah's gig, you know where to get hold of her, yeah? Just message us if you want some of her CDs or vinyl, hey? Love you, Sarah.
Love you back, that was great.
Bye.
Thanks everybody, you've been wonderful. Thank you so much.